through these things. So, some of the things may be familiar, except that we want to lift it a bit so that it reflects what we are for now. So we attempt defining post-fiction and try to differentiate between post-fiction and other forms of prose works. Then we'll look at types of post-fiction and so on. So one, I want us to understand that when we talk of prose, it's a way of language use. Prose is a language use where the language is not mechanical, too artificial, but the language reflects exactly what we know or we use. If you compare the language of prose fiction and the language of poetry, you can say that the language of poetry is more dense. It is denser than that of prose fiction. So prose typically a form of language, and it's a straightforward manner, not a sing-song kind of. It is the everyday use of language. That's what we find. It is so because of the length of the presentation. The length of the presentation is very long, and therefore, if you decide to use the poetic language, the ability to sustain it may be a bit difficult. So, prose fiction or prose uses straightforward things. So, for example, if you read the newspapers or you read the issue books, the language you see there is prose. This does not mean that in the books we are going to read, we may not find language expressions that are purely literary. No, we have literary language, we have artistic language there, but we say it's prose because it's mainly presented in that way. It's mainly presented in that way. Good. So, fiction as a word. Fiction as a word refers to imaginative works, work born out of the mind, words that are not real, words that are not that do not reflect reality, and so on. However, that does not mean that we cannot have works that reflect. When we talk of fiction, yes, they are not real. They are not about living people. But then they are works that reflect human behavior, human activities. In fact, in most cases, it is exactly human, except that we don't want to come up with the real human entities. We don't come up with the real human entities. And therefore it finds itself a bit colored with imagination. A bit colored with imagination. So fiction is a term used to denote anything, many stories or accounts that are not one real. It's not ideal for life situations. It is not a reflection of true stories. It is not something we can point to. It is colored. So they are created from the artist's own imagination, but has reflections on reality. So if you look at a book titled Fruit of Nakedness, we may have names like Mystic Mysterious. I know of someone called Mystic. There's somebody called Mystic in Cape Coast here. But I will not say that he's the one that we are talking about in the book. I know of people called Fati, but I will not say that these are the person we are talking about in the book. We know Kofi Inti and then Kojansa. But I'll not talk of these as those that we're talking about in the book. So though the characters in the book reflect human names, behave as human beings, we cannot point at specific human beings and say this or that is the character we are dealing with in the book. Right. So prose fiction is definitely the works that seem to be presented in ordinary language, day-to-day language, about stories that do not reflect real human beings living, but then they reflect human activities, they reflect human life. That's prose fiction. That's prose fiction. Composed in everyday language, in a narrative form, but reflecting imaginary human activities, reflecting imaginary human activities. Let me add that, yes, this is fiction, prose fiction we are dealing with. But when we go to poetry, we can have fiction. When we go to drama, we can have fiction. Because in literature, most of the stories we present, because of censorship, because of the need to establish the truism of it, and because of accusations and so on, we'll try to hide identity. We'll try to take away the human entity. As you grow, you come to meet a course called literary criticism. And the literary criticism, you'll be told that when you are critiquing a work, you have to be a bit distant from reality. You don't affect the person in question. So in that sense, it's better the writer also indicates that my work is not about real human beings, but imaginary beings. In that sense, whatever we say may not be attributed to a person, and that is the fictional element you're talking. That the fictional element you're talking about.
Hello, am I the only one not hearing anything?
No, please, no, please. I think Doctor has left.
Baba, please.
I think he has mistakenly left the page.
Please, he is a professor, not doctor, a professor.
Your lecturer will join soon. I called him to ask him to share his screen, but he was having some difficulties. That's why he went off the call. He won't be able to share his screen with you today, but for the future classes, he would rectify that mistake. So I'm the one that called him. That's why he has left the call. So he'll be back soon. He's joining the link again. Okay, so I wanted him to share his screen, but he's using his phone and there's nicer on his laptop. So for today, dear, he will not be able to share his screen with you. So you guys just have to manage for today. But then in future classes, he uses his laptop. Please help you understand.
Please,
Okay.
what of
Okay, well understood.
you recording it for us?
Yes, I'm recording.
Okay. Then after that, you post it in this thing for us. Thank you.
I will. Thank you. You will join soon.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I'm here. the two. My slides are not. I'm using the phone to connect to you. While the slides are on my laptop, so maybe next time I'll share this.
Yes, please. It is in relation with the books you are supposed to read. And I want to know with the prospection, what are the books you have to read in addition? I know I've heard of Cloud of Nakedness, I've heard of Animal Farm, and I think it's about 3 books or 4. I want to know the books so that we can start doing something before, please.
You are gone.
I said that with the prospection, I want to know the books we are to read. That is
Oh, don't worry.
the
We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there.
okay. Thank you, sir. Okay, sir.
Mm.
Thank you, sir.
So, are you okay? Can I go on?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Favor.
Yes, sir. Sir, please, I'm okay, sir. So thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Right. Yeah. So I was mentioning that fiction as a word refers to or denotes all imaginary creations. Refers to all imaginary creations, which can be poetry, which can be drama, which can be prose fiction, prose. I've said that prose simply the use of language where we don't go too metrical, we don't go too technical, but we try to go very simple, straightforward language to reflect or to present imaginary creativities and so on. Right. So this means that we have set of works that we can describe as nonfiction. We have set of works that we can describe as nonfiction. Where nonfiction could mean that it is not imaginary, but then it is real. It is real. Where we deal with the true stories of human beings, living human beings. So, for example, we can talk of autobiographies. We can talk of autobiographies. Autobiographies about people who write about themselves. Autobiographies. Biographies, on the other hand, are people whose stories are written by. In these senses, that we can point to specific human beings. We can point to real human beings. We can point to entities that we can ascribe to. We can point to them. Those ones are non-fiction. Non-fiction. They are true stories. They are not imaginative. But then once again, they are also presented in straightforward language. They are presented in straightforward language. In that sense, we have the stories being set in true settings. So if you look at Kwame Nkrumah's autobiography, he takes us to Nkrofo in Zimaland. You can go there today, we have evidence there that is true. If you look at Mandela's autobiography, Good South Africa, that president has mentioned, you can point to them. If you come to Ghana, autobiographies we have around, you can see specific places, specific times, and so on in that. The characters mentioned are real people. And then the story about them are also true stories that people can really testify that, yes, once upon a time, A, B, C, D happened, C, D, E happened, and so on. So in that sense, they were dealing with stories, non-fictional stories. Let me also add that even though they are non-fictional stories, to make it look literary, sometimes there's the spicing of artistic element, there's spicing of some imaginary expressions. So in prose fiction, which is purely fictional, there can be some realities but colored in imagination. In non-fictional, that is non-imaginative fiction, non-imaginative works, there can be, we have pure truth or truism, but this can also be colored with some imaginations. In other words, if you're dealing with stories per se, then the beauty of the story lies in the artistic compositions. Let me straighten it and say that one, prose fiction is purely imaginative, but it can reflect truth. It can reflect truth. It can reflect not imagination. There's some things in it that we can find. For example, if you go to Clothes of Nakedness, which has a place called Nima, which has a place called Kanda, which has a place called Circle. Today, you can drive to a place called Circle, and you say, oh, this is a Circle. The kind of thing that they say about Circle in the book can be attested to in Circle today. If you go to Nima, you go to Kanda, these places are there. The kind of thing that you see in Nima, in the book, you may see it there today. Except that the specific characters in it, you may chance upon those specific characters with such names, but they may not be the ones you're talking about in the book. So that is what prose fiction. On the other hand, when it comes to non-fiction, which is also presented in prose, like autobiographies, as I've mentioned, you go there and you see almost everything said about the person truly there. But then the way these things are said could also be packaged in an imaginative way, so as to make the language look artistic. There could be some instances that are imaginative. For example, let me give you one. If you read Nkrumah's autobiography, there is a portion that says that Nkrumah was carried at the back of her mother, and the mother was crossing a stream, walking through a stream, and the mother was told by Nkrumah that she had stepped on the fish. Now this is a bit ironical, in the sense that how can the person whose legs or whose foot is on the fish wouldn't feel the fish under her foot, but the baby that's hanging at her hips could feel that she stepped on the fish. Until she put her hand in the water under her foot, and there was a fish that she stepped on, and that fish served the meal for the family that day. How big is this fish? Now, when going to this story, it's a reflection of what Nkrumah is likely to be in future. So Nkrumah grows to become what he became. We are not surprised, because even when he was a baby, he had these kind of is it spiritual or primordial, whatever, pre-admonition, right, thing about him. And that is artistry that creates suspense, that creates curiosity in his autobiography for us to read. Right. So we have a heavy dose of imagination in fiction and a little of reality in fiction. We have a heavy dose of reality in nonfiction and a little of imagination in nonfiction. Please, is it clear now? Hello, is it clear?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yes,
please.
we got that extension clear.
Prof, please, can you take the last statement again, please?
Let's go on, please. Let's go on. So, if you look at the non-fictions, We can talk of biographies, as I've mentioned. We can talk of autobiographies, as I've mentioned. We can talk of memoir. Memoir is somebody's record of somebody's memories. We can talk about histories, like history books, as we know. We can talk about letters that we write about. We can talk about newspapers that we read and all others. Yes, they can be non-fiction. So if you look at the memoirs, you look at the histories, you look at letters, the newspapers, and so on, yes, we have a heavy dose of realism and then a bit of imagination in it to make it literary. When we talk of prose fiction, we have a heavy dose of imagination and a bit of reality in it. Right. So that gives us the basic definitions we have. And I think we have these around us all over. When we talk of the narcissism that we share, that can support an narcissism. Any not now here. Our brothers from the north, our sisters from Volta region and so on. How do you call your stories, your folk tales? Oh, there's no one to share. How do you call folk tales?
Folktales involve that we call it a glee.
Please, Akofa, raise your hand and we'll call you. You don't take it up and say. So you're the glee. All right. Brothers from the north, how do you call folk tales? Right. So folk tales. Yes. There's a hand here. Yeah. Abugi, Francis.
Okay, so we call it Soloma in Kusal. Soloma.
Thank you. Yeah, Abdullah.
Thank you so much. I'm from the north, and in the north we call it Selma.
You don't come from the north. You come
Oh
from a
yeah,
state place in the
somebody
north.
Dagbon.
Which is good. So the responses indicated that we all have a kinds of folk tales, and we agree with me that the folk tales are all presented in narratives. One, that is prose language, straightforward, and then fictional, because the accounts analysis is not a real thing we see. The other animal characters like the deer, the antelope that we see in the northern folktales are not the real things we see. So we read a book titled Animal Farm. A book titled Animal Farm. In Animal Farm, the characters are animals and they're behaving as human beings. I mean, how can you see a pig behaving as a human being? Walking, eating, teaching, learning, building like a human being. That cannot be. This points to the fact that it is fictional. It is fictional. Right. So from this, we can talk about types of prose fiction, and we say that we can distinguish them based on a number of things. One, the artistry, how the art is woven, how the art is instilled, created to as it mirrored the totality of life. Entirely biographies, autobiographies, or memoir, and so on. When it mirrored life entirely in the past, they were talking about history. So we will also deal with the text, the text to describe or to categorize they come in volumes. So you read one big but not volumes. They can be 300, 500 pages, or in fact, it's between 150 upwards. We call it the novel. We call it a novel. The novel, right? Then we have smaller ones that could also come in. As in novelettes, short stories, novella, etc. Yeah. We will not spend much time on these. So you can take them and then search it on your phone. What is a novelette? Of course, novelette will be smaller than the novel. Then we'll talk of short stories, which will also be smaller than novelettes. Then we'll talk of novella, which is the smallest of it all. So check from your phones. You get the number of pages the novelette would be of, number of pages we're likely to see with short stories, number of pages you're likely to see with novella, and so on. And when I share the slides with you, you will see a source. That's Machion, 1987, page 30. All these categorizations are there. But then let me focus on the novel. And we'll say that the novel is a fictional prose narrative or tale presenting the picture of real life. Look at this one, the picture of real life, especially the emotional crisis in the life history of the men and women portrayed. So it talks about a people. In literary terms, the novel is defined as a fictitious prose narrative of considerable length, portraying characters fully, portraying actions fully, portraying scenes fully, and representing real life in a plot of more or less intimacy or intricacy. So the novel is of an appreciable length, considerable length, so that characters can be very well portrayed, so that actions can be adequately portrayed, scenes can be presented, right? So that by the time you finish reading it, you have a complete sense of the story, the complete sense of behaviors. Not in situations like novelettes or short stories or novella, where the story is a bit scanty. Issues are scratched. Characters are just mentioned and then passed on. No. In the case of the novel, there's a considerable space. That's why I mentioned at least 150 pages to about 500. They are talking about considerable space to develop the characters, to develop actions, develop scenes, and let the plot develop into completeness. That is the novel. That is the novel. So they will say that it's a long story narrative. It's a long narrative in literary prose that has its historical roots both in modern and in ancient times, and in the tradition of novella. Yes. So if you look at the word novel, others will pronounce the same thing as novel. Novel. Now, novel as a word is an Italian word which means new. Novel means new. And in forms of literary composition, the newest is the novel. The newest is the novel. So it comes by the name novel, new. The newest is the novel. Right. And as I mentioned, it was about 50,000 words or more. 2,000 words or more. Right. Now, it is always written based on purpose. It's always written based on purpose. And of course, for the purpose, we can categorize it into types such as picaresque novel. Write that one down for me. Picaresque, that's Picaresque novel. Gothic novel, Gothic novel. We can talk of epistolary novel. Epistolary, that's EPISTOLARY novels. We can talk of historical novel. We can talk of Bildungs Roman. Bildungs Roman. That's BILDUNGSROMAN. Let me take it again. BILDUNGSROMAN. Novel. Right. Let's explain one or two of them, and then you look up for the others. Epistolary. Is there a word in the Bible that links to this epistolary? Any word in the Bible? Yes, Ernestina. No, Emmanuel. Or Emanuela. Yeah, Emanuela.
Yes, please. The epistles of
Paul and the. So, what meaning do you get from this one? Epistolary novels. What meaning do you get?
Letters of Paul.
Good. So, epistolary means it is written in the form of letters. Written in the form of letters. And we have a book titled "So Long a Letter." Who wrote it? Who wrote "So Long a Letter"? Yes, Emanuela.
Maria Mamba.
Maria Mamba. So far. Good. So Long a Letter. That is a type. Then we talk of historical novels. Historical novels definitely will mean that it reflects the history of a people. Anyone in mind? Any historical novel in mind? I can mention Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities. Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities. Right? Yeah, bet your hand is up.
Nelson Mandela, A Long Walk to Freedom.
Yeah, A Long Walk to Freedom. Thank you. A Long Walk to Freedom. Good. Then we can also talk of Bildungs Roman. Bildungs Roman. Any good example? This one talks about the novel that seems to trace the life of the protagonist from childhood to adulthood. Any such book in mind? I can talk of Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Yes, any other, Emanuela?
Oliver Twist.
By who?
Oliver Twist by friends.
Charles Dickens.
Charles Dickens.
We are looking for the two. We have looked at almost all. So you look for picaresque novel and Gothic novels, right? When we come back tomorrow, we'll ask questions on them and you answer them. Good. So these types are distinguished from art, one another based on their style and then composition, and then the purpose of their writings. These will show the distinctions, right? Now let's also mention that today, as we speak, other forms of the novel, other forms of prose fiction are coming up. So today we have a course like emergent literature. Emergent literature. The word emergent means it's coming up. It's new. And this would include major literature include science fictions, fantasy writings. We can talk of digi fiction. Digi fiction. I hope you know what it is from digital fiction, right? So you have other forms of the prose fiction or novel coming up strongly. I believe as you go on, you come to terms with some of these and then appreciate them, right? Any question up to this point, please? There's a hand up. Who is that? Abugi. Abugi, any problem? All right.
No, that's the
Now, then put it down, please. So we're done with the explanation on prose fiction. Put them together. Look at the types per the number of pages they have. They've also looked at the focus and purpose, given us types of prose fiction. Right. So let's look at the plot, style, structure, and then the diction in prose fiction. Last Saturday, when we were talking about drama, I did mention to you that we will talk about plots. So we did talk about plots in drama, and I mentioned that the thoughts of plot, the ideas of plots we saw in drama will be the same thoughts or the same idea of plot we'll see in prose fiction. So can you please mention to me what you mean by the plot? What's a plot? Yeah, Betty. Betty, let's hear you.
Sir, please, did you mention Betty?
Yes, I've seen a hand, Betty.
Okay.
BETTY.
Okay. A plot can be defined as the arrangement of a sequence of events in a dramatic style. Thank you.
Sister, you know this is wrong. We don't take this one. Were you in class on Monday, Saturday?
Please, I'm doing minor.
Then okay. I think there was a hand, another hand. Yeah, let's hear you, Soda. Matilda, let's hear you.
And please, Prof, I think is this sequential series or sequence of events in a drama. Thank you. And please, I said when we talk of plots, then we are trying to talk about either the sequence or series of events. Sequence of events.
We are listening to you, please.
And please, I'm still talking. I said it's the sequence of events. When we talk of plot, it's the sequence of events.
And that's not enough. We went beyond that.
Okay. I wasn't around, please.
Cynthia.
Prof, please, some of us, this is our first time of meeting you, so we are not preview about the discussion you had last Saturday because this is our first lesson with you. Thank you.
Please, last Saturday we had a class. Also of you in drama. Cynthia, can we hear you? Opoku. Opoku, you were with us last Saturday. Let's hear you. Opoku, you were with us last Saturday. Let's hear you.
Causes.
All right. Then please let's understand that the plot is not just sequence of events. The plot is not just sequence of events. It's sequence of events with causes and effect. Causes and effect. We said that if it's just sequence of events, that's a story. That's just a story. But then when the causes and effect comes in, then it explains why certain things happened. So the plot is not enough to describe it as sequence of events in a story. We said it is an arrangement or sequence of events in a story with causes and effect. With causes and effect. So those who are not with us, I'm sorry, but then we'll go through it. I'm sorry to have thought that we're all part of the same thing, right? So forgive me, right? Then we'll look at the plot as having how many structures? Can someone remind us? Yeah, Alhassan, let's hear you.
3. The exposition, climax, and that of denouement.
I see. Yes, Rose, let's hear you.
Please, we have introduction, rising action, climax, a falling action, and then the denouement. Thank you.
Thank you. So that builds up on Alassan's 3. So Alassan, we have 5. 5. And the 5, we have exposition, also called introduction. Then the rising action, also called complications. Then we come to climax, the peak. Then we come to the falling action. And then we come to denouement, which is also called resolution. Right? These are the five stages of the plot. Right? Rose, your hand is up. Any problem?
Sorry.
Matilda.
Doc, please, sorry for taking you back. Can you kindly go through go over what you just said? Thank you.
Rose, go over it for us.
So the plots have 5. The introduction, then we go to the rising action, which is the complications. Then we move on to the climax. That's at the peak. Then we come to the falling action. Then we go to the last one, which is the denouement. Thank you.
Thank you. Are you okay, Matilda?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you. So the old
Sir, please, I didn't get the last one well. And if I can get the spelling for that. I heard something of Dume or something. I didn't get the pronunciation well, please. Sorry.
Denouement. 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 Are you okay?
Sir, please, if I may ask, can we replace that denouement to resolution?
I will not ask you to replace it. It's a technical word, so we need it. It's important. So don't be smart. It means resolution, yes, but that doesn't mean that we can replace it. Are you okay? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Are you okay?
Yes, please.
You are going to teach in the secondary school, so don't take the shortcut. Right. Right. So let's.
Dog, please. Okay. Sorry.
Yes, let's hear you, Matilda.
I learned that the rising action is the complication. What
Take
of
your
that?
time. Take your time. Please take your time. Take your time. We'll get it. We'll get it. Take your time.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Can somebody tell us what is involved in exposition or introduction? The old disciples, can somebody tell us what is involved in exposition or introduction? And let me say this, I am interested in the right terms. The right terms are exposition, complications, climax, falling action, denouement. Though these can have other names as introduction, rising action, peak, etc., resolution. But let us get stuck to the real terms. Yeah, let's hear you, Moses.
Hello, Prof.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Yeah, exposition is where major issues are introduced.
Issues such as can anyone continue for us?
Okay, sir.
Yes, Prof.
Okay, Prof.
Let's go. Go on. Go on.
I think the exposition is where the story lays the groundwork. It involves introducing the characters, setting the scene, that is the time and place and atmosphere. Then establishing the situation, that's the context and circumstances. And then hinting at conflict, that's problems to come.
All right. All right. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, let's say Victoria.
Sir, please. The exposition deals with introduction of the characters and then gives us a background to the story.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Caroline.
Thank you, Prof. Please, the exposition deals with provides the reader with the essential information about the story, and I think the characters, the complications that are to come in the story. Thank you.
Thank you. Friction. It is a major concern. Unless anyone does have any problem.
No, I was trying to contribute in the exposition, but
Okay, let's go on, please. So I was saying that in prose fiction is automatically the chapter, the earlier chapters that attempt to possible and develop gradually to become a complex problem, right? So the first part, now things are introduced, then they get developed as they interact, get developed, and then the issues become what? Complicated. Then reaches the point where if the decision is not taken, something bad is likely to happen. That's the climax, right? Then when we get to the climax, that's where the nature of the story is determined. Whether it's going to be a tragedy, whether it's going to be a comedy, whether it's going to be a tragic comedy. Please, we mentioned this in the drama class, but in prose fiction too, we can mention this because a novel can be a tragic novel. A novel can be a comic novel. A novel can show tragic comedy. So it is the climax. That's where these things come up. These things come up. Then we come to the falling action when we'll be winding up. We'll be winding up, resolving the problem, trying to cool down tempers and so on. And then we come to denouement, the resolution, where everything is now finally settled and we go home peacefully. Right. So this is the structure of the plot. This is the structure of the plot. I've seen two hands. Can I we listen to them, Bright and then Kate.
Yeah, hello, Prof. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Your voice has been dropping. So sometimes I hear and then the next sentence I don't get to hear.
Kate, let's hear you.
The same the line
Yeah,
is
I
being
know. That's why I paused. When I see it here, I stop talking, it restores, and before I come in. Right. So that's the internet system here now. So let's manage it. I beg you. It will be fine. All right. So we have looked at this, but let's also say that there's one other thing about the plot. In some stories, you can have the plot beginning from the logical beginning and concluding at the logical conclusion, right? But in other instances, the plot does not follow that logical thing. I mentioned that the plot can be chronological. That's from the beginning of the time to the end of the time, right? Or the plot can be spatial, starting from the immediate space to the farther space. We can have it that way. But in other instances where the plot also, the story adopts what you call the flashback of foreshadowing techniques. The flashback of foreshadowing techniques. In that situation, you the one who is developing the plot, must to get it start from the real beginning through to the middle and to the end. By the way, what the meaning of foreshadow and then flashback? Can someone explain these things to us? Foreshadow and flashback. Yep, Alasan.
I think it's a technique used to send. Hello, the flashback. It's a technique used to send audience back to explain a cause of an immediate effect that they are seeing in a play or it is in a prose.
I see. Okay. So this is prose fiction, so drop the play and let's use prose fiction. When you go to drama, you don't can talk about play or drama. Right. Abu, Edu.
Prof, please, the foreshadow talks about, it gives us what is going to happen in the future.
Right.
Talks about future experience that may happen. But the flashback talks about it recalls past events that had already happened.
All right. Thank you. Bright. Is it Bright or Bright?
Yeah, I want to talk about the flashback. Oh, when we say the flashback, it's an interruption in a narrative that reveals something that happened in the past.
All right. Thank you. So I mentioned three things here. I'm mentioning three things. One, flashback. Two, media res. Media res is MEDIAS space RES. Media res. And then foreshadowing. Foreshadowing. So flashback means looking back into the past to pull information that will make the story relevant or meaningful now. Then media res means that starting the story from the middle. So that you read the book and then you say that the story is starting from the middle, right? The media res. And foreshadowing means starting the story from the end. Starting the story from the end. Now, these are all techniques. These are all techniques we use in post-fiction, in designing the plot. We may not absolutely follow the chronology. We may not absolutely follow the chronology. But when we are done reading the story or listening to the story, we can sequence it and get the real beginning, the real middle, and then the real end. We can sequence it and get that for us. Now, can somebody tell us the significance of using flashback or foreshadow or media res? Yeah, can someone share with us the effect?
Sir, please, can I talk?
Lizzie, we don't do that in my class, so let your hand go up and I'll call you. Anyway, you can go on. Let's let your hand go up.
To my little understanding, the flashback helps the listeners or the reader to know what caused the action taking effect immediately. The immediate action, the cause of it. Sometimes you'll be watching a movie and something will happen and they will take you back so that you know what caused what's happening now. And the four something gives us the insight into it, puts us into suspense.
Hello.
Hello.
You don't
Yes,
say
please.
for something. No, this official.
I forgot that word.
Please, it's official class. Let us be disciplined. I beg you. Right, go on. It's a foreshadow. So don't say for some.
All right, sorry. The foreshadow gives us insight on what's about to happen or puts us into suspense on what to expect. Thank you.
Yeah, Benedicta, let's hear you.
Okay, so the flashback creates suspense or it reveals surprises. And also it explains current conflict or relationship.
All right. So, Betty. Betty Sosu.
The foreshadow maintains the reader's interest. It makes the reader focus on the story. Thank you.
All right. So invariably we are saying that all the three approaches or techniques succeed in creating a kind of suspense, creating a huge suspense among the readers, right? Okay. Please, I'll be with you soon.
Please, can someone go over the techniques or the approaches for me?
Please, if you have the slide, please share it for us to see.
My sister, please take your time. He didn't show slides today. He said next time. Let's wait for him to come, okay? After class, we can discuss. Please, I'm begging you.
All right, I'm back. So after class, you will discuss it. Don't fight here. If you have any issue, let me know. I said I didn't show the slides because I'm using my phone to teach. My slides are on my laptop, so I can send the slides to you to look at. Right. All right. So we said that the three approaches are all means of creating suspense, sustaining the interest of our, so that they get glued to the story being shared. Right. So we have indicated that the plot is a structure. The plot is a structure, like the the design that we draw. I will follow to build a house, or design that we draw in order to follow to sew a dress or something. That is the plot. Yes, except that the plot appears bigger than the story. The plot appears bigger than the story because in the plot, if we are dealing with causes and effects, that means that the story just gives us sequence of events. So the story we read gives the sequence of events. The plot goes ahead to tell us why A happened for B to also come in, why B has effect of B, why he mentioned that in some cases, enough space for complications, enough space for the places will be the same. There will be a big space for exposition. Big space for and you may have I hear you. The next section goes, yeah. The plot, yes, would have all that, but then you don't have the interest he want to show or he want to develop. Right. Then let me also add quickly that we can categorize the plot into two. We can categorize the plot into two. Yes, those old disciples, can you share with us what these two plots are? Yeah, Elizabeth, Caroline, Eva, let's hear you.
Okay, sir, please. I heard about the simple plot or the prototype plot and the complex plot.
All right,
Thank
so
you.
what's a simple plot?
You said the simple plot is a straightforward and it goes with one idea. Let me. Yeah, it's
all right.
The simple plot looks at one particular character.
I see. Okay, let somebody comes in. Augustina.
The other time, you made mention that the simple plot is where
we are listening to you.
you give an example. Okay. A simple plot is when an event, the end of the event can be predicted from the beginning. And you give a typical example of that of the local movies we watch, some of the movies you watch. You can easily tell the end of the story from the beginning because it's so clear, like it's very simple. So when the end of the story can be predicted from the beginning.
We hear you. Caroline, I think your hand was up, or you've run away.
Thank you, Prof. We also thought of the complex plots.
Okay, go on.
Where when we talk of the complex plots, as the name implies, is somehow complicated than the simple plots, where the story is in a form of arrangement and is basically it's arranged in.
You didn't understand what I taught last week, last Saturday. But the phrases are giving me, are not what we said. Please, if I say something you don't understand, when I pause and I say no question, come up and say it. Ask your question. Except that I don't want to hear those things like, can you repeat that part again? Can you repeat that part again? That we are not focused, you are not paying attention. No. But if you don't understand, ask the question, let me explain. You are paying school fees to be taught. And I want to, so you don't go to SS and then pollute them. Go to SS with knowledge to teach them. Anyway, let me take Eva and then Nyako, and then we will go on. And Betty, yeah. So Eva.
Hello, sir. Oh.
Okay, so with the simple plot, it's straightforward, but the complex plot is not straightforward. It has a disjointed manner. It's presented in a disjointed manner, and the readers have to rearrange it to form a coherent something. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Let's hear you.
Okay, so the simple plot has simple continuous actions where you can predict the end from the beginning. And the complex plot has reversal of situations and progression. So sometimes how we perceive the end to be, it redirects to another thing altogether.
I see. Yes, Betty.
Sir, the complex plot is a bit complicated. It has not followed the events in a chronological manner.
Right. Let's take this one by one. One. Simple plot is presented in a simple, straightforward. Two. The plot incidents are closely connected and are in linear sequence. Is that okay? Simple, straightforward manner. The events are closely knit, connected, and are presented together in a linear manner. Nyaku, please mute yourself. Now, this means that events and incidents in simple plot are chronologically ordered. Chronologically ordered. Because one event leads to the other. One event leads to the other. And it depends on the preceding one. So you know that it will move from those, you are likely to go to this one. You are likely to go to that one. You are likely to go to that one. So that sequential order to the end. So you can predict the end. And in novels, a very good example is Animal Farm that you'll be reading. Animal Farm that you'll be reading. Animal Farm by Orwell. In that book, we have the farmer not feeding the animals, right? And the animals getting angry, revolting against the man, setting up their own government, fighting within them, another person taking over, another animal taking over as the leader, and then the end results. That's a simple plot. A follows B, B follows C, C follows D, up to the Z. That was simple plot. If you read a book titled Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe, that's also a simple plot where we see that there's a man called Inoka who is a lazy man. And because the father was a lazy man, the boy doesn't want to refer the image of the father as a lazy boy. So he works so hard. He works so hard, becomes an achiever. I want to hold on to be an achiever, doing things that would promote him as an achiever until he falls into a trap and then gets the story is entirely about one. Yeah, it does not mean that the story is entirely about one person. When I mention one character in drama, I mention monodrama. Monodrama. In prose fiction, we are not dealing with monodrama. We are dealing with a novel. We are dealing with a story. In the story, there are so many other characters, but there's one leading one. So direct. They were talking of simple. On the other hand, a complex plot, we have the story not presented in chronological manner. Take note, the story is not in a chronological manner. The disjointed, and that the reader would have to rearrange it. Can you mention some of the things that we have just mentioned as being a feature of complex plot? There are some things we have just mentioned. Do you think they can be part of, or they can be features of the complex plot? Yes, Eva?
The foreshadow, the flashback.
Thank you. And then? Yes, Isaiah?
Media race. We have the media race.
Media race. The media race. Thank you. Thank you. So the moment we see foreshadow here, we see flashback, we see media race, then we know that this is not a simple plot. And this is a complex plot. This is not a simple plot, but then a complex plot. Right. So we have said that it is presented in a complicated manner, not just like a simple plot. It has not run chronologically, that's from beginning to the end, no. It makes use of foreshadow, flashback, media rest, because it comes in disjointed manner. Disjointed manner. And the reader would have to rearrange to form a logical sequence. So if you go to Aristotle's Poetics, first plot is the one that shows reversal of fortunes and demonstrates recognition. So the things are so complicated that you need to wind and wind and wind and wind and then come to conclude, oh, okay, that's why so happened. That's why so happened, because it is not in a chronological manner. It requires disentanglement because the plot is entangled. It requires disentanglement because the plot is what? Entangled. And the author's view has to be rearranged to get the story stream, to get the story straightened. Right. Can somebody mention a movie or so that seems to... Can somebody mention a movie, a book that seems to have a complex plot? Yeah. Caroline.
Prof. Thank you, Prof. China Achebe is no longer at ease.
Yeah, what is it about? How is the plot woven that we think it's a complex plot?
How they present Obi Okonko as he is caught in bribery and corruption.
Yeah. Is it flashback? Is it foreshadow? Is it media rest? Anyway, that's a good example we can talk about. Yeah, that's a good example, except that the mentioner couldn't tell us how it's made. Yes, Hilda. No, Augustina before Hilda. Augustina? Hilda? Augustina, Hilda.
So can Hilda come?
Yeah, do.
Okay, so there's this movie that I love so much, it's titled Game of Thrones. Why I think it's a complex plot is that it talks about different kingdoms, like 7 kingdoms fighting for an iron throne. So how do I say it? So so like their families are fighting for the throne. That's the 7 kingdoms. These things are not in order. It doesn't follow any particular it's very confusing. If you don't pay attention, you will not even understand what's going on. So they can go to one family where they are doing a marriage ceremony, another family they are talking about someone's death. Like, I'm confused. But that's
all right. So at least we can see that it doesn't follow a linear presentation. It doesn't follow one directional thing. There's a forth and back, etc. There's a foreshadowing, there's flashbacking, there's media rest, this makes here, so that you need to rearrange the story to get the complete thing. Yeah, that is fine. That is fine. So we have a number of them. And as I mentioned, there's a book that we are reading titled Shadows of Imana. So the one who has the books we'll be reading, I think I've mentioned all the 3 books. 1, we'll read Animal Farm. We'll start with Animal Farm. Then 2, we'll read Cloth of Nakedness, Animal Farm by George Orwell. Cloth of Nakedness by Benjamin Kwachi, a Ghanaian. And then 3, we'll read Shadows of Imana by Veronique Tajo. Veronique Tajo. These are books we'll read. Now, if you look at Fruit of Nakedness, it seems to have a straight line, but then there are some instances of foreshadow or flashback, right? There are instances of foreshadow and flashback. For example, the book did not start with how Fatih became Bukhari's wife, but then we read into the middle, and then we are told how Fatih became Bukhari's wife, and that indeed is what a flashback. That indeed is a flashback, right? Let me also mention that it may not be any small flashback that will give us a complex plot, or any small little foreshadowing that will give us a complex plot. For a complex plot to be, the flashback must be a real flashback. The foreshadow must be a real foreshadow, so that it creates disjointing of the entire story, so that the readers would have to struggle to straighten up the story. Then we're talking of a complex plot, right? When we come to the play titled Shadows of Imana, Veronique Shadows of Imana by Veronique Tajo, yes, we may have to, when we get there, after discussion, you tell me whether it is a simple plot or a complex plot. Right. I've mentioned 2. One is clearly a simple plot. That is Animal Farm. The second one, I'm trying to tell you, it's neither simple plot or complex plot. So when we read it, we will agree on that. For the third one, you will tell me whether it's a simple plot or a complex plot. So I'm putting you in suspense. I'm putting you in curiosity, to be curious, to find out certain things before we meet. Right. So, we also mentioned that, or let me also mention that we can have subplots within a big plot. A plot can have a number of bits. So put the bits and bits and bits together, we get a big plot. Just as when you're doing, those of you who know how to cook, I know most of you don't cook, but those of you who know how to cook, when you're cooking fufu, for instance, you prepare your soup, then you prepare your fufu aside, then you may have your dessert somewhere, and then you may have your starter somewhere. So you put everything together, and then you get a complete meal. So you say, wow, today I've had a good meal, I've enjoyed. It's because you prepared this in bits. And they can be called subplots, put together into a bigger plot called the meal. Right. So it is possible that you go into a book and you can have subplots that come together to develop the bigger plot for us. Good. So a subplot that's well integrated helps to broaden the reader's perspective on the main plot, right? When the subplots are well integrated, then they give us the bigger picture, and then everything becomes clear instead of diffusing the overall effect of the storytelling. Good. So we're done with the plot. Any question? Any question on the plot? Yeah, Clifford, let's hear you.
Prof, thank you. I wanted to ask, and you explained, but looking at a story like Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer, the tales themselves are episodic, embedded in a unified plot. I wanted you to elaborate a little bit on that for me. I am a bit confused. how it's
We are not treating Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, so you cannot bring it here, right?
I wanted to ask if it is possible that an episodic plot is embedded in a unified plot.
All right. So last time we met, we talked about episodic plot. We created episodic plot. Seen in the simple plot. Episodic plot, it still survives. In a unified plot, what is equal to the complex plot? We said if you take an event out of a complex plot, that plot the stories are different. Chaucer's book has a into what you are discussing here. Florence.
Prof, please. Hello, Prof. Please,
Yeah, Patrick,
can we have a complex plot? Please, can we have a complex plot which has, let's say, more than one theming?
Last time you were with us the other time. I think we have not got there now. So don't rush us, right? We'll get there and we'll talk about that one.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Please, those of in drama, don't bring your drama things here. This is prose fiction. Wait, when we get to talk about drama. Yeah, let's hear you. Is it Patrick? Yeah, Patrick. Florence, can we hear you?
Yes, sir. Sir, please, so don't paste about the explanation of plot. In fact, my network wasn't all that good, so I didn't get it clear. Please, can you kindly explain plot to me again? Plot. The explanation of plot. I didn't get it all because of my network, so kindly explain it to me. I beg you.
Can someone share it with her, please? Can someone share plot with her? All right. So we said the plot is okay. Opoku, let's hear you.
No, we said plot is the sequential arrangement of events in a literary work with causes and effects.
Thank you. Are you okay, Florence?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Right. So can I go on? We are looking at style and diction. Let me explain style and then diction, and I will see how they affect prose fiction. One, can we? What do you think is style? What is style? Yeah, what is style? Poke with your hand up. Okay. Okay, Elizabeth, what do you do?
Sir, please. The style is the characteristics of language in a particular story. Thank you. That's what I mean.
Yes, Florence, is your hand up? If you finish speaking, then let your hand go down, right? Asantewa, what is style?
Thank you, Doc. So, I think with the style, it talks about the way or the manner in which the work is presented, taking into consideration the language used and then the literary devices used.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So when we talk of style, we are looking at the unique manner that the language characterization everything is presented in a work, so that work from work. Sorry. The style is a unique way of presenting the story, which language can be through the character presentation, can be through any other thing, right? So if you pick two books to read, you realize that, or two movies to watch, even produced by the same producer, you realize that the style of presentation in book one or movie one is different from that of book two or story two, because the writer or the producer is writing about different things. So the same language, but per the issue, per the themes, per the approaches, they become a bit different. Now we know that in literature and in prose fiction, the commonest element is language, diction. Now you pick a book to read and realize that the writer goes very simple with his language. You pick another book to read and realize that the writer goes complex with his language. In some instances, the writer may even sound poetic or proverbial throughout. In some instances, the writer may sound too abstract. Whereas in other instances, the writer may show concrete evidence, right? All these add up to what we describe as the style of presentation. The style of presentation. The characters may be kind, others may be wicked. The characters may be presented to us directly, or we may be asked to go and find the characters ourselves. All these are part of the styles. Right. Patrick, your hand is up. Any problem? All right. So those of you who have the slides, who are following the slides, you don't just pick the bits and then read through, understand it, and then you share. It says style in fiction refers to the characteristics of a language in a particular story and to the same characteristics in a writer's complete work, right? So if I pick book one of the same author, how is he using language here? Then pick another book of the same author. How is he using language here? And you agree that the two will never be the same. And the two will not be the same. Then, of course, we're saying that style is the manner of expression of a writer. Style is the manner of a writer through his choice of words, through his sentence constructions, through his use of literary element devices, through the organization of the other elements, his thoughts, and so on. So if we look at style as a manner of expression, they were saying that how a writer presents these creates different pictures and different tastes for us. Is that okay with you, please? All right. So we say that writers have different styles, and also a writer can have a different style for each work he does. A writer, every writer has a defining style, but sometimes, depending on the particular work a writer is doing, he can also have different styles to reflect the work. So if you look at Amatebu, she has a book titled Changes. How she writes Changes is different from how she writes her short stories. That is The Girl Who Can. Meanwhile, the same author. But even The Girl Who Can, we have different stories in The Girl Who Can. How each story in The Girl Who Can is different from each other. So we'll point to the fact that one writer may have a style which is different from other writers, but then that same writer may also have styles in relation to specific works that he or she does. I don't know. Have I made a point clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Well understood.
Thank you. So we will end here. Tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock, we are meeting again for 2 hours. That's 6 to 8. I believe after that, you can do whatever you want to do, right? Yeah. So, one, we have today looked at what is prose, what is fiction, and we have put the two together. They've also looked at types of prose, per the number of pages, number of words. We have looked at that one. And they've also looked at type of prose per the nature of the prose, whether it is the letter form, whether it's talking about the beginning of somebody to the person's end, whether it's historical. We have also looked at that one too. Then we have come to look at plot. At the plot, a climax, falling action to the denouement, or having finished. Please, I saw somebody asking which one do we follow. I've told you that the plot works. All right. The of fiction, we will mention the section of fiction. So please, when it comes to prose fiction class, listen to prose fiction class. No. Listen. And then you'll be in a better place to say, oh, okay, this and that are the same. That and that are not the same. But if immediately you want any question up to this point? Any question?
Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Hello, police.
Yes, please.
Which of the books are we reading first? Animal Farm, Naked, Close of Nakedness, and then something. Animal Farm, okay.
Animal Farm.
What about the drama books?
Check from the comments. Check from the comments.
Hello. Please, can someone go through the structure for me? The exposition, the complication. Is that?
Check from the comments. Check.
Okay.
We need the audio. Please, can we get the audio?
Yes, the audio. Those of us who just joined, can we get the audio?
I just joined even a minute ago.
We are about 200 and something.
So when we start,
I think
the lesson, the one who is monitoring it said they will record it, and after the recording will be on the platform.
at YouTube. They will post the recordings at YouTube. Like we did the other time. So when you go to YouTube, you type in the course code and then the recording of the previous lessons. You download it and listen to it whenever you want.
This lecture is for one center.
No, I don't think so.
Yes.
No, it's not. It's not for one center.
It's because last time
aside
those at West School
PC
they did the
Center
same
and
thing there. Those at West School we did the same thing over there with different lecturers.
Oh, okay.
So those who postponed that their lectures are having it today. So not all the centers.
No, it's not like that. It's for the online sentence. This one is for the online sentence. It's not.
Yes, not all the centers.
Oh, so some centers started face to face.
Yes.
Yes.
Last Sunday and last Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, so you like the same thing like we are learning to do. And then confused.
Please go and check your timetable and know where you are.
I think this one is prose fiction. Is that not it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So some of us, I think, when the audio is placed on the platform, it will benefit us because I just entered a minute ago and then everything is over. So I'll try to join tomorrow morning as he has already indicated. So I think we couldn't cover the lesson up to unit 6, session 6.
No.
I
we
think
are still on
it was session 2.
Yes.
Okay.
So we are done with session 2.
Okay. So are we creating different platform or we will always follow this one for prose fiction? When I checked the number, we were more than even 200.
They have a common platform for all the courses.
20.
So with the Prose section, they have a common platform for all students offering the same course, regardless of your center.
So
That
I
one,
mean, it is the common platform. This one is the general platform.
yes.
This is the general platform.
Yes.
Can you
So
add me? Can you add me to the common common platform?
that one, I don't know. The administrators are the people from UCC. Okay, so I don't think it is open for people adding colleagues.
Hello.
Bravo,
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Please,
Yeah.
if you want to join the common platform, what you do is you see that document that has a timetable.
And also join through the link.
Join. Yes, when you join,
There's a
you
link
see
there.
communities. So you just check the communities, the one that has your course code that you are offering, then you just join. Any group you see that has the course you are doing this block, then you just join to take you to all the platforms. Thank you.
Bravo, V. Bravo, V.
Hey.
Bravo, V. Ultimate Ghana.
Fofieko. I think
Alaji
so.
mun may start addition the link you know where they am boy.
Say lance me can say this time round no see she we na see. She we say na see.
Professor, no, you're too fast for my liking.
Hey,
Feel.
The life.
Oh, no, Coca. No, oh, yeah.
I'm tagging the crowd.
Hello.
I'm tagging
Come and the platform this one. The general platform, please.
Hello.
Recording.
Hello.
They're still recording. The recording is still going on.
Please, some of these please.
Recording is still going on.
Let's go.
But seriously, the way our channel there, yeah, true. But right up the good house, you can't even get it to.
They must hear record it.
But if they are recording, it's
Even if
not recorded,
if you want to address something like this, you should go through the right way.
We are even afraid to even talk.
If you want to address, it's not
one by one.
I don't think Professor Nkansa is
one by one. One by one.
So I don't think Professor Nkansa is very difficult to that extent. We have course reps, so I think we should follow the right channel and communicate whatever we want to him. I think this is not the best way to address this. Do you understand? Maybe because of time, maybe there are so many factors that is making him to rush, because you have a lot of things to cover within a short period. So we should rather channel this energy to our course reps and let them, or you can even call. I don't think he's a not human being now. So you can even call yourself and say, oh, said so and so and so, so I feel behind or all that. But here and just rattling and saying words with a recording, I don't think it's the best. With your names, I don't think it's the best. Nobody can see you, nothing will happen to you, but let's follow the right channel.
I think if he's going fast, we can even prompt him for him to be slow a little bit so that it can accommodate all of us.
Please, he even said if you don't understand anything, you should draw his attention because you have paid fees. That is what he said.
Yeah, and then I think one of my sisters was suggesting that we should have special discussion platform as we used to do during our first block. I think we should create another platform for evening discussions. That one helped a lot. So we advised ourselves that going forward, we should focus on the discussion mode. As for that one or that platform, we can even discuss many issues, and then we will feel free to even come up with certain things for us to deliberate than to approach the lecture on those issues. In this case, it will be like a group studies. Group studies, you know, so it may discuss issues. Ama obi intend on once a cry. Yes, so yeah, so serious. We can even place on it for us to deliberate. In the course of that, then we learn from each other. So I think let us not wait till the time is due before we rush to create any discussion platform. So if we can start by now, that one it will help.
And then I suggest you should start by now. You have to create it for us.
I think
we have a discussion platform.
Initially, Mr. Fofie created a discussion platform for
and
us
it's
to.
still on. Is there?
Let's use that old link.
That old link.
Yes,
It's
the
still
one that
there.
we have been. So when we contact Fofie, we can get the time and day. Then we zoom into it.
Okay, then I am cautionary liberty. Obi
promotion exam na ye ka obi dey to us say at least almost party and nation dey kakra fanya promotion and anya edwuma.
Actually, who say me ba so sesia o. Me ba so no 5 minutes
platform no be tro be the better na e to ho say anka UCC no omo ma e mre kakra na fansu ade enye because it's a nationwide
you know UCC and na ye can assembly I'm say UCC there or any program wa say ye Christmas festivities krampa obua eduru say ohia wa ene o paja na kwa asori o paja na de kokoye ene de emfa maame emfa omo mma data yi no kra because anytime nti ya nkasa na ese say ya adjust ye ho na ye de ye nema akware remember the time pa emri bi then time na me ye diploma e wodo ma yinkro 2014 ho no baby na ye di sala no so me na me ye imamu amedi o mu kogu idio me ka kire wo say mi jai o mu kokoye exams me ko na mi su say ma so mi jai ko wan je anko a wo benya IC and the home run me who say UCC there so she any program no a all the request be akoto a emfa.
Hello. But the discussion platform now no. Some of us didn't get the opportunity to join at that time. You know, if say a link na muketi ya mumpato mon sign share link na yeah afia you who say visa course so make me join.
Deal. Kobe. Me pacho mun ko platforms no so link no me say we kra brafo fie share yi WhatsApp link no so. Because last time the discussion platforms no e boy pa e boy.
I think say oh yeah.
Na yentini anya no mo fa nto so na yenyina yentimi enye. Nti say ye koso I be cry ye hu say this is the link no. Nti I was somebody to know you say be a we any link
no ya ti wi amekwa kwhwe so na mare share.
Okay.
Me pacho me times do a one meeting na me tia for nti me man shase me man shase and then kwa na me no aye nti me pacho
ya shase
how many times
na no ye ne na ntimi anhia ya shase enne eze me kra me de say ode eduru unit 1 session 2 ode e kwa akira anka ai moaye
okay
unit 1 session 2 and ode eduru ye de kwa kodu session 6 enti am say ochena ne de ode ebe wie enti ochena no wa ma ye 6 o'clock wa ye sori ya mama ye na yenye alert na ye ne nhia
na me pacho na history ni so
o say
history history
ebi mu ye history me de me nya history nti
okay
historical knowledge ye meet da cry
akoba sa omo amu ye history no nya bi contact na e bi ano wo information bi a ho a obetimi a channel information ama mo a mo ye no
me that's
yeah history but you need information be So as when we are meeting, I don't know.
Okay. Or say on no be my time, so we should wait. I'm on the better platform, so you just follow on the platform. Really draw the better.
Okay.
Okay, sister na oka so no abema motane means ono so history ni binti ebe ya awo je ne number na mon collaborate enti mumu de obenya information ni bia na ode ama ne yonko.
Okay.
Nti ebe ya je ne number sisia na onfa ne number ma na mon collaborate.
Your platform. See, follow history platform no. Or say
okay, me was
cross rep say as and when no or communicate with him or the baby so.
Okay.
If you just follow the platform.
Okay.
Thank you. I aka so bi moko. Me pa cho say or the recording to so a no bi ka YouTube ana bibi etesa. Some of us no ya na yenye all that I familiar with mobile phone no ko ha nti yesremo munya mo de mo fanto platform no so mayen na yen tapo na yeso ye mobinti why
me no ya agene well said.
and so one kasa ti hu aye yi bone do de munya pe mo de mo fanto so mayen de ye funu ji ane me unya de to so wi a ye tapo na yeso ye bobiti nti sa yen ko ha YouTube Instagram ne hwan no wan hwe ya ye be yira nti yesremo a munya mo fanto so mayen mama ba
madaro mana book no mumudri wase na enye biato ana ye 20 we na
a book be
person I eba be using sa animal farm no close of nakedness yem printed the one na say be ka ko tobi
I think so o print here
okay
o print Prose fashion no a aha nti ordinary slides no so ka ho a na waka ni nyina e de abom nze slides no summary nti o de no ka ho a eno nso ebeboa na sa animal farm no we say no ne sa na ma nti ni na e ba be ka ho de na e too much o because eno so a different book o a different book and ba ku bi so ka ho ayi ba ku bi ka ho ase ni nyina o mo de abeto we no so na se
close of nakedness and then shadow of Imana.
Ni nyina ka ya yi ho.
Imana mi phone no support Imana no.
Okay.
Me phone no wodi bia Imana na mbie minim ye ayeme.
Ena the obisa say we nyina ka one san ya drama nso de ye she stoops to conquer. Ena dear blood ena death of the king's horsemen.
Enti ni nyina ka Prose fashion ho.
There
3 books.
What say?
Ebia kra 3 books. First breaking kra 3 books. Drama kra 3 books.
Enti Prose fiction and the books and the because say ebi mo ye literature ni we say no mo a. Ye we no kwan nye ni na na ye befa.
So we am major.
Abi me ye minor. Me ye English minor. Mpamacha mon kyerɛkyerɛ me mu yie.
Me say English minor no. Oh yeah, Animal Farm. Shadow of Nakedness. And now back on it.
Close of Nakedness.
Close of Nakedness in a Shadow of Imana. And then the English minor yeah. But the other one for English major one.
Hey, already nyame.
And you be me ni why? Ebe pa why?
Inshallah. Yo mate. Mame.
Me pacho mama wo number why? Me friend wo ni we di nkomo bi.
Yo mate. 024 024 024
Uh-huh.
313
313.
triple 62
662.
6 in the miensa and a last number near 2.
Okay. 024313
Yeah,
Okay. Maybe Abananti na from here the commobile. That's it.
no problem.
Hello.
Yeah.
Minion Pamcho, maybe set and so do am be now I don't mean Pamcho. She stood to conquer no. Me send me printy, but pages in be blare won't she. And will because I mean video no YouTube. In fact, video no me share but any captions. Yan trust and also mokasa kosa anti. Din so be who said what and who is this person and all that will be related to. Nipa can't say no one a say in a book and so me print one that you yes so blessed me who my kind video no me sure say
Sister Lydia.
Me Mama because I took to conquer no. And no name come. Mama because lecture the other my husband has gone mad again. And my dear and the same horseman.
And dear blood. Hello, sister. Me pa so e de ka ho why across board obi anim say no na ye
Let's say for now. Because
her husband has gone mad and come home.
And enka ho e center enka ho be
So
bia
far ni dia menti wo baby asa wo.
enti o be bia se platform
I know my for the man.
enti madam me pa so de na me
So mama mbita mu.
Me share video na she's can me share say me American me share video na no caption said that who say one can we enti won't me relate ni na ba what me ahwo we read the book no so enti pa so menya bi ato he aka me ko na
bookshop
menya bi wo
sorry, bookshops because me my emergency me kwa koto printing it there.
Okay.
You be printing but papa said they work and
papa old 20 and no me jina ka face me ko campus Ken UST campus me ye omo ye bia but am na me jai.
Good morning.
Morning.
Me pacho mo ya botre na me busa asema me sramo me pacho mo se cause ne de na ye close of naked de ne de
Say yeah 6 we drama yeah three programs 3 books we did 3 books and approach we did 3 books and the under approach no yeah novel anyway and approach yeah kind animal farm
Right.
Yeah, kind animal farm.
Yeah, kind animal farm. Close
of nakedness.
Close of nakedness.
Ana de
Enna. Is it shadow of Imana?
Shadow of Imana. Prose no. Affair na drama na ye de.
To conquer.
God and the king's herdsman.
Hey, Ana de
She stoops to conquer.
He stood to conquer the king husband and again.
Dear blood.
Dear blood. Jesus is Lord. I mean, that's really right.
Me pa mo chewa busuafo na me bisa se prof my de any kan ana ati say e drama wo my de any kai enkan e ba Prose nso so anka de any kai enkan ana e betimi aye ni nyina abom. Hello family, please are you there?
Hello, Auntie Lydia.
Madam.
Aha. Obi busa this same question. Nana Mr. Fofi say uncle in call no. But them say
Okay.
no, they have arranged it according to the way we should read it. It's the
Okay.
first one under prose no Alima farm.
Yeah.
And a close of nakedness. And a shadow of nana.
Yeah.
But last Saturday near she a prof and Casano. I remember very well, so see and read it, she stooped to conquer no first.
For the drama.
For the drama.
For the drama. Okay.
Yes. So me call her so Oma arranging it. She stoops to conquer the blood, death, and the ten sportsmen.
Yeah, she stood to conquer in her sermon.
And also my but for now, I ain't been to maybe I ain't go through way no so. But as Auntie Lydia is saying, me print it be a map papa until me decide this on a animal family they are very common. And dear blood no say very common.
Yeah, that's it. It's not easy. But it's a
But boost up one.
Good morning.
Control, yes, you best start the discussion, madam.
The patrol, that was your phone. Let's happen.
Let's honor our power. Me patrol discussion here, that way.
All right.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Mashallah, pomo koye sarki. Don kacho. Na ina ko so platform so. Yeah, I was a national anthem pa di interview nti no. Kasa ndi temu wa na mu de twi afem ba ko bi na ye hu nia e ko so why. Nti na me hu nia ko so why all platforms why.
You